What's up? Sorry. What's up, guys? It's your girl DJ, and I'm back. Did you miss me? I missed y'all. I don't think y'all missed me as much as I missed you, but I did. Actually, that might be wrong. Y'all probably did miss me as much as I missed you. All you ever seen me on Instagram and TikTok, and I never go live. That might change. That might change. But welcome back to DJ's Theater. Well, should I say Dejaria's Theater? How y'all like the rebrand? I know the rebrand's like 2 to 3 years old, but how y'all like it anyway? How y'all like how the channels look? I'm not done. I don't like 100% how it looks, but this is what it looks like for now, and we're all just gonna have to deal with it. Okay. One, I'd like to say thank y'all for being here, sticking with me through all these years, and I'm not here to disappoint you no more. We're getting to the grind, we're getting to the bag, we're getting to the fun, so let's do it. How have y'all been? I've been okay. But I'm better, I'm smiling, and if I don't know if y'all can tell, but I got a little glammed up for the comeback today. I don't know if you can tell, but I hope you like it. Ignore my hair, yes, it's short. Going through a hair journey here with my locks and stuff, so ignore that I look crazy, okay? Okay, as you see from the title of this video, we're talking about The Housemaid. The Sydney Sweeney movie that people on the internet were losing their minds about. And I promise y'all, the twist at the end of this movie, I was not expecting it to be what it is. So first, it opens like any love triangle, suspension, horror movie. It's not even a horror movie, I hate to call it that, but like suspense. I think that's the genre, suspense. A rich white family in a suburban neighborhood let's just say the mom's mainly trying to hire help and not really the dad. We start this off, well, the movie doesn't start off with just Sydney already being there, but I'm gonna jump ahead. But we learn a little about the family. They're a little perfectionist kind of family. Sydney gets there, meets the mom, who is played by just bear with me here, okay? I can't say her name. I can't say her last name. So with the mom / wife played by Amanda Seyfried? I botched that. I know I did. But she hired Sydney Sweeney to be a housemaid, clean the house, help with the cooking, cleaning, help with the kid. Cecilia's so cute, but we notice something's up when Sydney meets the father and Cecilia. Sydney was standing on a table trying to dust like the chandelier or the light or whatever. Cecilia was just like, there's no shoes on the furniture. And I'm sitting here like, okay. I mean, I wasn't really that stuck. Well, that was random to say when meeting your new nanny. I guess I get it, you're cleaning, but standing on a table with shoes on that you definitely was wearing outside. Shoes on. Why did you even walk in the house with your shoes on? Don't walk into people's houses with shoes on, that's rude. So she gets settled into the house, sets her room up. Sydney doesn't join them for dinner, she goes to bed. This was her first day, so she goes to bed. And they put her in the attic. A weird, strange looking attic. And if y'all know horror movies, the attic or the basement is never good. But for this case, it's the attic, and I promise you it's still not good. Hold on to that. Keep that in mind. She wakes up, it's the next morning, and Amanda, which her character's name is Nina is flipping the hell out about some PTA notes and thought that Sydney, what was her name? Why can't I remember her name? I can't remember what her name was in the movie. Let me see if I can find it. Millie. I knew that. I didn't have to Google that. And Nina's saying that Millie threw the notes away or took them or whatever. Mind you, this is her first morning here, officially working here. And how could I have thrown your notes away? I didn't even know there were notes. And now you're saying that I threw them away? Make that make sense. I didn't see. So we're already off to a weird start. Nina freaks out. Husband, his name is Enzo. I remember that. Enzo helps her calm down and then tries to like soothe Sydney. Millie. Awesome, tomorrow's gonna be better. I'm sorry that was a lot. That was a lot for you to deal with, but tomorrow should be better. Should it? Should it though? Today should have been a good day. I woke up to this. To be fair, she did wake up late. But I feel like she should get some grace for that. So I'm gonna give her some grace. It's your first day. But definitely giving grace after Nina freaking out about some PTA notes. So jump forward. Millie was cleaning. She found like a pill in a toilet. I don't know what it is. But keep that in mind. So now let's move on to dinner that day. Millie's serving dinner to Enzo and Cece. That's her nickname. I don't think I ever said that. They call her Cece, but her name is Cecilia. Millie first asked Cece if she wanted some juice. Cece was like, yeah, but the glass is dirty. Juice is a privilege, not to be drank in a dirty glass. Okay, I get the dirty glass, but juice is a privilege? Let me stop for my mom coming here. He's like, yes, juice is a privilege. Millie was like, okay, well, I just cleaned it. I just took it out the dishwasher, but it's fine. I'll get another glass. She goes grab her a glass, examines it to make sure it's A1 clean. Comes back, Enzo's at the table. You know, so this looks great. This is better than dinosaur nuggets, right, Cece? And Cece's just staring, like, no response. Just stares at him and Millie back and forth. I couldn't work here. This is so weird. We get to Enzo's like, you should have dinner with us. And Millie's like, no, it's fine. I'm good. And he's like, no, we insist. Right, Cece? And then she just there drinking her juice. But Millie still didn't eat. I don't know what's about to happen. I mean, I do, clearly. I watched it already, but when I was actually watching, I'm saying like, what was going on here? This is crazy. Dad seems normal. Daughter's a silent watcher of whatever's about to go on, and mom's being weird. Like is she sick? Is she dying? Is she drugged? I would have so many questions, and it's only day one. So now we move on to Enzo. Well, first, let me not speed past that Millie had a whole wet dream about Enzo. And she was like, yeah, no, we are not doing that. But we go to the next morning, and Nina pretty much like confronts Millie about how everything the night before with Andrew, and still tries to blame her for the PTA notes that we know nothing about still. And then blames her for missing her hair appointment, which that is important. Keep that in mind. Put that in a little box. Hold on to that box. Hold on to that box. But Nina's giving off vibes that like either she knows something's going on between Millie and Enzo, or something's going to happen, or like Nina's just being weird, like freaking out about the PTA notes. She's here, and sometimes she's nice. Millie met her, she gave her the whole grand tour of the house. Then we wake up next day and she's yelling and tripping about PTA notes. Not here for dinner that day. Well, let me say not that day, she was at the PTA meeting. But then, the next day, you're asking me how the night was with your husband, which it was great, but you're being weird about it, like passive aggressive. You don't think I'm trying to come on to your husband, because I don't want to. I might have had a dream about him, but I'm not going to tell you that. I don't want nothing to do with you and your husband. But something does seem strange here. But now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the movie. We're going on to the next day. I actually don't know how time passes in this movie. That was a little confusing for me, a little bit. I'm assuming it's the next day. Millie goes to a meeting. He was just like a therapist meeting, and Nina doesn't really like that very much. And then after her meeting, Nina calls Millie to tell her that she needs her to go pick Cece up from ballet. Be there, 8 o'clock, sharp. Don't be late. I think it was 8, but don't be late. Millie, having no clue, no address, didn't even give this girl the address. Having no address, I'm pretty sure she's still new here in town. I might have lied about that. But she doesn't know where she's going. Jody has to Google the ballet school, find her, and get there ASAP. When she gets there, Cece's confused, and Cece's friend's mom is confused. It's like, Nina's usually picking her up. What's going on? And Millie's like, well, I guess she just decided not to today. But come to find out, Cece's supposed to be having a sleepover play date today after ballet. And Nina didn't tell her. She just made her look crazy in front of these kids and parents at ballet. Why would you do that? Then Millie went back to the house and sees Nina and her mother-in-law having a conversation. Nina's like, well, I told you she had a sleepover. There was no reason to make a scene at the class. And you never told me that at all. And then mother-in-law is pretty much being passive-aggressive to Nina. You know, just pretty much talking down about her to her face, like right there. It was something about plates. When she was like, I don't want Nina to move them around because she'll slip and fall and break everything. And Nina's just laughing, keying it up. And Millie's just like, what? This is crazy. And you're just sitting here laughing about this lady laughing about you and making fun of you to your face. Like, are you okay? I don't think you're okay. So after the whole ballet fiasco, we come on to Millie trying to watch a movie because she couldn't sleep. And then Enzo decides to come downstairs and tries to watch with her and be a little flirtatious. So now I'm over here thinking there's something up with him. Because you have a whole wife upstairs, probably asleep, and you down here trying to get nice and cozy with the new young thing in the house, the maid. What about your wife, Enzo? Where's your wife? She comes downstairs, asking like, what's so funny, or what would suck, because Enzo was talking to Sydney about whatever the hell was going on in that movie that they were watching. I really wasn't paying attention. I was trying to put pieces together at the time. What could possibly be going on in this house? Y'all don't understand. It was like a game of Clue for me in my brain when it came to this movie. Y'all just do not understand. But Nina comes downstairs, pretty much forces them to go to bed. Not forces, it's kind of like a passive aggression. Millie feels some kind of way, feels awkward, because now it looks like she was trying to be all up on this woman's husband when she was just trying to watch a movie by herself. Just for Nina to come out of her mouth and be like, stay away from my husband. You're gonna have to dress more appropriately from now on if you want to stay here and keep your job. And you have to stay away from my husband. Lady, I didn't want to be with your husband. Who would have guessed? But Millie needs the job, so she's not trying to argue back. She's like, yeah, cool. I don't know how she's dressing inappropriately. I mean, y'all know it's Sydney Sweeney, so you know they're trying to. She had on like a tank top with a hoodie. It wasn't inappropriate, and it was after hours. Everybody was asleep. There's nothing inappropriate about walking around the house with some sweatsuits. Just me, though. So now we move to the actual next day. Nina is having her friends over. Point when she's no longer at the table and Millie is serving everybody, she overhears that the girls are pretty much gossiping about Nina, anything that's been talked about. Come to find out, Nina tried to drown her daughter at one point in time. When I found that out, I thought that was crazy. That doesn't make sense for her character. I get she's crazy, but that didn't add up to me. She has proven that she loves her daughter. She was freaking out about PTA notes, for crying out loud. She cares about her daughter. So for her to have tried to drown her at a younger age, but I was still over here trying to put pieces together. I also thought it was weird that her friends were gossiping. And I'm like, those are supposed to be her friends. Why are they gossiping about you? That's weird. Especially at your house. So they keep talking about her. They're like, have you seen her roots? She's going crazy. She gonna end up on the street. She gonna get her life together. And I'm just sitting here like, what is going on? Like, what is this lady on? What is this family on? So Millie ends up investigating. She goes in the bathroom and sees all these pills for me. Ends up finding out that the lady is taking pills for acute psychosis. The lady is insane. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. Nina is nuts. So maybe she did actually drown her child. But I still don't believe it. This is getting too fishy. So the next day, Millie ends up making food for Cece when she comes out of school. Cece, being a little quiet, weird son, but per usual, is like, you know, you don't have to be my friend. It's not part of your job. But Millie's like, I want to. So let's play. Let's go do something. So they end up playing dolls with Cece's dollhouse, but kind of similar to the house that they stay in. And Cece starts reenacting a conversation her parents have in the house, talking about some, say, juices of privilege and your roots aren't done. I'm make a hair appointment later. They're pretty much reenacting conversations that she's heard. And Lizzie just picks up on that and it's just like, what is going on? So then eventually she knows there's a troll on Cece's dollhouse, which belonged to Millie. And so Millie's like, Rich, get this. You gotta stay out the attic. And Cece's like, so do you. You also need to stay out of that attic, girl. You don't know what's gonna happen. And now I'm like slowly adding the last puzzle piece. Because attic, you're being weird. Nina's crazy. Enzo's normal. Something is up. I can't say who it is. But this is a setup. I don't know who set it up. This is a complete setup. I don't think it was Cece, because that's a warning right there. You need to stay out the attic. So it's between Nina and Enzo. I don't know who set this up. And I'm starting to see it. I don't know if y'all are starting to see it, but I was seeing it. And I'm just trying to put pieces in. I'm pretty sure y'all can see where this is going. I hope you do, because I do. I'm just here to get you there. Okay? Okay. Right now I'm about to zoom past a little bit of the movie because there's a lot and I'm not trying to give up too much detail. So we're going to jump forward a little bit to when Enzo took Millie on a date. And yes, that's pretty much what it was, a date. Tried to play it off as not. He ended up getting her some tickets to a show and he couldn't, I forgot what reason it was that she couldn't go, but he ended up not being able to refund said tickets. So, and he was like, there's someone you could be able to take with you, and she's like, no, so he just kind of invites himself. So they go to the show, and then he takes her to a fancy dinner, like a fancy steak dinner, because she's never been there before and was willing to try it. He was like, let's just get everything on the menu. I make enough money for it, it's fine, da da da. They end up talking more, pretty much having like deep talks, pretty much how like he does love Cece, but he does want kids of his own. He loves Nina, all that yip yap, and then they end up too drunk to drive home. So they stay in the hotel room that he also purchased for her and a friend. There are 2 rooms, but if you know where this movie's going, you know where it's going. If you don't know where the movie's going, they end up sleeping together. It's not rocket science. They ended up sleeping together. We all know what's gonna happen, and by that point, I'm convinced he is the bad guy. You have a wife who's struggling and a daughter at home, and you were just pouring your heart out about how you love Cece, you love your wives. Wish you could have your own biological kid, and you trying to do that with Millie? Is that what this is? While still married? Like, I'm confused. I'm getting it. I don't, this is why I don't like that. They sleep together. They end up coming home the next day. Nina's nowhere to be found. So, they sleep with each other again. Nina eventually comes home, asks how Millie's day off was. Says it was nice. But now we come to the big part. Nina comes to confess to Enzo and Millie that she knows that they slept together. Enzo's like, I just don't know who you are. I don't know who you are right now. And I'm tired and I'm done. So he ends up kicking her out. And Nina's like, what? You can't do that to me. And he's like, get out now. I'm done. Well, Millie asks, like, do you need help packing your stuff? Like, Girl, excuse me? So Nina leaves. With him kicking her out, come find out the truth. We get a backstory of Nina. We find out that she was a college kid who ended up having a baby with a married professor. He wanted nothing to do with them, of course. So she had to drop out of college, get a job, and take care of her baby. Mind you, she was in school, I think, to be a lawyer. I have to go back and check that, but I'm pretty sure it was a lawyer. She was only 20. Met Enzo in a board meeting at her job. He took her out places. I can't explain it better than how Nina did. It took him 6 days to get into her pants, and took him 6 weeks or 6 months to propose. And then once they were married, he immediately started changing little things about her. I knew from the beginning he was the issue. In the backstory, we find out that Nina dyed her hair blonde. She is not a natural blonde. She is a brunette. She ended up bleaching her hair, and the roots were showing out, kind of like, well, my roots aren't showing. My hair is just all brown. You see, I bleached my hair, and at some point, the roots grew out. And he didn't like that. He made mention of it. She was like, yeah, I missed my appointment, but I'm gonna make another one, because she missed her appointment because she was running errands. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna make another one. Don't worry about it. He asked her to go grab some notes from the attic. Told y'all to keep that attic. Keep that in mind. So he lowers her to the attic and locks her in the room, and pretty much locks her in that attic for a month. It was either months or days, well, or weeks, for a long period of time, and pretty much says your hair is a privilege and it needs to be taken care of. So in order to learn that lesson, he locked her in that attic and made her pull out 100 strands of hair. Single follicle of hair from the roots. She needed to do 100 of those. Apparently she did it wrong. One of the strands didn't have a root follicle on it. So she had to do that all over again. Meanwhile, she couldn't even see Cece. And he was in there taking care of her daughter and not even telling her where she was. Eventually, she got it right. He let her out the room, and she got to see her daughter for like 2 seconds before she passed out from malnutrition. Lack of nutrition. She was not okay. The things men will do to like keep you is insane. We find out that Enzo is the crazy one. So, with him kicking her out, Enzo and Millie are now officially together. And then Enzo ends up doing the same thing, play for play. Ends up locking Millie in the attic as well. I forgot for what reason. Give me a second. Okay. I found out why he locked her in there. It's because she broke the china. I can't believe I forgot that detail. I mean, I get his mom made a note about it, about Nina dropping it and breaking it. My brain didn't process that Millie breaking it would have meant something. But he locked her in there for breaking the china, and then pretty much told her that she needs to cut 20 deep lines on her stomach as punishment. And then he'll let her out. Same thing he did to Nina. That's all you gotta do. Because family heirlooms. family heirlooms are a privilege that should be taken care of. What? So eventually Nina ends up cutting herself. He comes in to prove that she did. This is like the next day. He comes in to verify, and she kind of stabs him. And she ends up locking him in the attic. So now the tables is just turning all over the place. And then we get Millie's backstory. Millie's character is a former convict. We find out why she's been in jail. She went to a girls' school. I don't think it was an all-girls school, but she went to a Catholic school. And she has a thing about creeps. In her school, her roommate was and she beat up the boy. But her roommate did not have her back like Millie had hers. So she got arrested for that. Another scene of her hitting a boss who was hitting one of her bosses at a job she had for being a creep to one of her co-workers. Now we know who Millie is about for her. because that just means that Enzo is not about to get away with anything he got away with. So Millie, after leaving the attic and locking him in there, made herself a sandwich, drank some water, and then sees a text from his mom because she's like, "How are you doing? How's everything going, my beautiful sweet boy," or something like that. And then it clicks for her. So Millie comes up with her own attic game and pretty much requires that he needs to pull his teeth out, his front tooth out, because something about it, she'll let him out if he pulls his teeth out, because it's just, hopefully it will stop all the women in the neighborhood from smiling at him because of his teeth and like all of his face from a beautiful smile. So he ends up pulling the tooth out, and then Nina decides to come try to save Millie because she thinks she's in the attic. So she went back to the house thinking that Millie was in the attic. She accidentally let Enzo out. Millie is MIA. Well, she was watching TV at first, but I'm guessing she heard all the commotion. And Enzo's trying to talk new jutsu to Nina. It's like, just, Millie's gone, just stay. What are you gonna do out here in the world without me? There's nothing you can do without me. And then Nina was like, yeah, I'd rather die than still be with you. You're a monster, you're a bad person. Dude, Enzo was just like, it would be my pleasure to kill you. But before he can, Millie kind of like pushes him off their staircase. Very long staircase. Spiral stairs. He dies. And then Nina like drops light bulb to make it seem like it was an accident. And they kind of get away with it because Millie's gone. Nina stays for the police to give a statement about what happened. Luckily, the cop knew of Enzo. To find out, he was engaged to the cop's sister and treated her the exact same way. So she just swept it under the bridge, and they just get away with it. So the last scene is we see that Millie's interviewing with another woman at another house for another maid position, but it's not the typical maid position. The lady needs help with her husband as well, and Nina talked Millie up profusely. So I guess we're ending the movie with Millie having a little housemaid business, if you catch my drift. So it was y'all, that plot twist, Nina setting up Millie and then them working together to unalive Enzo. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Millie trying to save herself. I didn't expect that for Sydney Sweeney. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I thought the acting was great. I thought the story was amazing because I didn't see any of the plot twists coming. I mean, I guess I kind of did. I suspected that Enzo was the problem. He was just too perfect. There was something about him being normal that was just weird, because why is your stepdaughter quietly sane? Your wife is insane, and you're just normal. Yo, I wasn't prepared for the psychology I was about to go through with this movie. And I'm glad that they ended up unaliving him. I did not see that coming. And I actually like that outcome better. We're here for women power. I enjoyed the movie overall. I'm not going to tell you to watch the movie. I'm going to leave that up to y'all. I'm just here to give my reviews and commentary about people in movies and characters. I'm just here to break down and talk about shows and movies. And now I'm just rambling. That's it for this video, y'all. Thank you again for being here and sticking it with me through all these years. I am happy to be back, and I will be staying this time. So, like, share, comment, subscribe. Please comment, y'all. The movies or shows, what else would you like me to break down or comment over or talk about? I will also be doing skits, hauls, because I'm also trying to get into my stylist vibe going on, y'all. I'm not just trying to be an actress. I'm trying to make clothes too. Well, I'm trying to make clothes. So first I'm trying to start off as a stylist and then move up to like making clothes. You know, there's steps to take here. I thank y'all for being here with me on this journey. It is just beginning, and it's nothing but up from here. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you again. I cannot thank y'all enough. We need a name. We need a gang name, y'all. We'll figure it out. Let me know. Thank y'all again. I love y'all.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.